Hello guys and welcome back to another match. This is still Imphenzia. I'm one of the developers of Line War and I'm playing one of the alpha testers, SuperCrumpets, who's probably got the most played matches out of most alpha testers at this point. We're playing another match on seed 68889, so if you didn't see the first match, check that one out in the channel history. And this time around I'm going for a central pick, so I want to have a main presence on the main island. I have to take this serious, so I need the economy and I need the expansion options. As I start, I realized that he started on the same continent because I didn't get to pick those western territories, so I'm going to go for an aggressive start. And I built 4 barracks, and for the first 1,000 capital that you spend, your buildings are going to be pre-packaged or pre-constructed. So they're already built, you don't have to wait for the build time. And I take advantage of putting at least 2 of those into the forest, because the build time in a forest is usually about, well, it is 50% longer. So by utilizing the pre-packaged or the pre-built options there, I'm gonna hide them in the forest and get them built instantly. So he might only think that I've got 2 barracks built there, and that's why I put 2 visible so he can see them, and then 2 in the forest. And I want to go for a strong push against him now and take him off this island. I know that he started in the western corner of the main island, and also that he's probably reached across those sea territories to get presence on the west island for some economy there. So I build 2 more barracks. I don't want to take anything for granted now. I need some more guys to conquer the remaining of my continent there, and I want to be able to just swarm him with infantry at this point. So I can always destroy my own buildings later on. We introduced that feature not so long ago, in a couple of sprints ago. So nowadays you can actually target command your own buildings when you don't think that you need them anymore, and your own troops will fire on them and take them out, so you can salvage that. You won't get any money back, but they stop costing upkeep, so you can spend that money on something else instead. And I'm not going to build a shipyard or anything yet. I need to really eradicate his presence on this island. I can see that he's got 3 barracks, and I've got enough people pushing now, and I'm close enough to his barracks that I should be able to just eat those up one by one. First take care of his defenders there, and then edge my way towards those barracks and then take them out. And if you're new to Line War, you can see all these lines that I've drawn, or these paths. One of the big differences is in Line War is that you never select individual units. You just draw these commands. You can have point commands, path commands, and line commands. And these are path commands, so units will be attracted by these commands and follow along and act out according to the directive. And these yellow path oranges, or yellow/orange paths, they're actually set to conquer, so they'll engage enemies within any 360 radius, within any sort of engagement distance. And if there are no enemies around, they'll start conquering the territories, because in Line War you earn capital or money by conquering and controlling these territories. So any territory now that is got the blue lines, they'll give me money, and those ones with the dashed lines there are the ones I'm currently conquering. I've switched off my production now. I think I have enough guys to conquer and take out his presence on this island, and I want to start saving capital. My idea now is to conquer this main island, start salvaging my own buildings, and I know that he's going to build a strong presence on the west island, so I want to go for a build of a rocket. That's something we introduced actually in the last sprint. So rockets are really expensive, but they deliver a massive amount of damage when they're fired. So I want to make sure that I control this central island, and then spend enough money and surprise him by launching a rocket into his presence on his escape island there. So far the plan is working out pretty good. I'm saving capital. I need all the way up to 800 to build my rocket. So I need to save a little bit more money. I've got enough people to carry out my conquering, and I've still got enough people to take out his barracks there and his presence here. I don't have any recon units, so usually you'd go for some sort of a submarine or maybe an interceptor, so you could fly off the coast and see what he's up to. But I can only imagine that his economy is a little bit strained. I took out those 3 barracks and I'm conquering territories that he controlled. So for every territory that I take from him, I gain 12 capital per minute, and since he lost them, he'll lose 12 capital per minute. So every territory that I conquer from him is as if I had conquered 2 territories on my own, if that makes any sense. So I've had my production switched off for quite a long time now, and my infantry was just enough, so really confident that this strategy should work now. I'm not spending a lot of money on any extra production. I'm debating where to put my rocket now. So I want to go up north here so I can reach some of his rich sites there. I want to make sure that I can reach at least one of the cities, if not 2, and also his refineries there. So I opt to go for the clearing here, and I want to build it in plain sight because the rocket bases, they're actually stealthy to begin with. And by putting it in the forest, it would have taken me another 50% time add-on. So I can't really afford that because it takes 5 minutes to build this thing. So I really have to make sure that I build it as fast as possible, and that I should also protect it. And now I can also switch to some economy building. So I build a town there. I've conquered nearly all of the territories, and I'm not planning to get off this island to the west, at least not yet, because I want to make sure that I rack up a little bit of defense around my rocket base there, and then just go for that rocket and take out any production that he's got and starve him. So that's my plan, and the reason why I put it in the north, not only to reach it, I thought since he knew that I attacked him in the south, that he'd think that I'd have enough protection there to go up north and protect anything up there. So I'm not expecting him to realize that I'm building anything there. I don't know if that makes any sense. It did to me at the time. I've got a lot of money extra when the rocket is building there, so I'm still building some economy sites there, putting a couple of industries connected to those towns. So when you've got 3 industries connected to a town site, you can upgrade the town later on to a city and gain even more capital. And now I get surprised. So he's already shipping troops over, so he's got a shipyard, he's producing troop ships, and he's starting to ship people over. I have to panic start building troops. I don't have enough to protect myself up there. He's got, I have no idea if it was intuition or whatever it was, but he picked the exact right spot to come across, because I don't really have enough people to defend that rocket. I build defense lines first of all close to him. I want him to start attacking those. Maybe since the rocket site is stealthy, he hasn't seen it yet. So I'm hoping that I can draw his attention far enough north so he doesn't spot the rocket site yet, so I can still surprise him. He's coming across with even more troop ships, so I start to assume now that he will have seen this rocket site. All I can do now is to start protecting. And I just had to write in the chat, are you kidding me? Because I really did not expect him to come across right there. In hindsight, maybe it's the most logical place to come across because it's one of the shortest routes, so I think I should have just expected it. I build my first refinery. Obviously, I can't go for this strategy much longer now. I need to do something about his presence and attacks. And before I even got to launch a rocket, he destroys my launch pad there, and 800 capital plus the rocket that I was building, 200 down the drain. And I spot a destroyer now in the south, so he's got presence on sea, and I'm contained onto my own start island. And this has happened to me a couple of times. I underestimate the power of the flexibility once someone's escaped the island there. So the bonus, I guess, of getting your rocket site destroyed is that it frees up some capital. So my economy is looking a little bit better again. Debating what to do now. Should I protect? I know that he's got shipyard, so I know if he finds my shipyard, he'll be able to take it out. So I don't really dare to build it on that coast. So I'm scouting the south coast there to consider building it there. I decide to go for the north build there, so maybe I can stay hidden long enough, send a couple of troop ships over to the East Island, start conquering that. I'll start needing that economy at some point. And then maybe I can start building a couple of cruisers there to sweep down his coast and take out his shipyard. So I've got a lot of barracks there to produce troops for defense. So he's probing the coast there. He's tried first going ashore a little bit further north, and when he noticed my presence, he's shipping his troops a little bit further south now. But I have enough barracks there to produce my own defense. When you play Line War, a bit of time is, you're not always drawing new commands. Sometimes you just look at the situation and you assess and try to read what the opponent is trying to do. So whenever I'm not drawing a command or the camera is just still like this, it's usually because I'm thinking about my options and trying to calculate my next move. I think that's one of the things I like most about Line War, is that you can actually just assess the situation and start planning your next move. And by drawing these commands now, it'll attract the units and it'll act out. Now that I see that he's starting to ship units to this a little bit more to the west, I can draw my path commands here and I switch them to move, so they don't stop anywhere on the way. And I also put haste command on the haste directive modifier on one of the paths. Then my troops will start jogging there because I need to reach them a little bit faster. So with the haste directive, they'll actually take a little bit of damage or fatigue. So I have to be aware that when they reach the opponent there, that they'll be a little bit more tired or damaged, so they can recover after time. And since he stopped attacking the north, I thought he's not going to expect me to build another rocket site in the exact place where he destroyed the last one. So I go with that gut instinct and I plank down another rocket there because he's strong on the sea. I'm not going to be able to touch him. That's my estimate, at least at sea. He's got shipyards and he's scouting my coast, and he's already found my north shipyard there. So maybe a rocket is still my way to knock his presence out of his most important presence there on the west island. Go for another shipyard a lot further south, hoping that he won't come down the coast all the way to there. I start to need to ship some units over. Since I've got a lot of barracks, I'll be able to produce a lot of infantry and ship those over to my coast there. One of the troop ships that I built actually managed to sneak away before he takes out my shipyard. I can only assume that that one's going to get knocked out. So what was a strong start, and eliminating him off one of the islands has self-contained myself onto the main island, and I still have the dominant island here, so it's a pretty good position to be in. I have enough troops to protect myself. I've got enough producers there with the barracks to produce and just anything that he'll ship over, I'll be able to take care of. So then he's starting to get a bit of a presence there in the north, so I have to let go of my defense line. I don't think he's spotted my new rocket site yet, so I need to start to take care of that threat in the north. Many times when you leave someone's presence coming into a corner of the island, that can be biting you later on. If he starts to get a presence there and start to build some producers, and especially since he's owning he's got dominance on this, or his navy is strong, so he could protect any builds that he do off the coast there, and then I'd find it a little bit more difficult then to do anything about this. I need to transport as many troops as I can, but I have to leave a defense line still on my rocket, because that's one of my most valuable assets at this point. Finally, I start my move to the East Island, so I start to ship some troops over. He's sweeping down the coast, so he'll spot me. I decide to go for a defense line, because if he does have only a small presence on the island, first of all, I didn't really expect him to be east yet. But since he's there, I can only assume that he's shipped a few conquerors over there, and that he won't be very strong. So I need to get a lot more troops over there and start taking the economy that's available there. So he's built 2 shipyards, and he's put them right by the coast, and it's pretty smart to do that when you control the sea, because anything that he's got close access there to just put some cruisers to defend those. So if I try to attack those, he can just stand off the coast there and take out any attempts that I do to attack that one. He's attacking my defense line, which is good. My guys will enjoy a big bonus there and take out him. but I can't really see what he's got. And since I'm shipping you guys over, I'm sending up north to try to mitigate that threat. I'm clearly outnumbering him on this North Island now. I've got a lot of guys coming up here, infantry, and I still have the coverage of the forest there, so I don't think he's spotting my troop movements through the forest there. I have to protect my rocket site. At least the rocket is building this time. We've got only the base, and it takes about 3 minutes to build the rocket. So it's not too long to go now before I can fire that one off at him. And I've got a second rocket base there in the south, so I'm going all in rocket here. I have to play around. When we introduce a new feature, I tend to test them out quite a lot in different stages, so I learn a little bit if it's usable, is it good or bad, or I have to learn it at some point at least. So not only has he got 2 barracks in my North Island, he's shipping quite a lot of troops over there, so he's getting a lot of reinforcements. He's starting to fire on my shipyard. He spotted it, but my cruiser there should hopefully be produced just in time to take that out. And there we go, cruiser is produced, so I can start pounding a little bit on his destroyers there. 1 cruiser will take out 2 destroyers. I try to gain a little bit more sight. I don't have any recon troops, so no interceptors, no submarines or anything to be able to see where I need to fire my rockets. So I try to get my infantry a little bit closer. We've got accumulated fog of war sight, so all units in clusters will contribute to how much you see in the fog of war. And it's unfortunately not giving me enough sight, so I can't really spot anything there just yet. I've also got another issue, and for me, I need the energy now, because I've only got 1 refiner and I don't have any depots. So with 1 refiner you can only store 30 energy, and it takes 20 energy to launch the rocket. And I'm starting to get some ships moving now with the troop ships on haste, so I'm consuming quite a bit of energy now as I'm trying to chase him down. He survived with his 2 destroyers because he escaped. So I try to save my troop ship there and send my destroyer to support it. The north battle is going alright still. He's still got his presence, but I still got enough troops to take care of at least the people that he's putting ashore and producing up there. So I decide to go for a little bit more economy. I've got a submarine base there, or a sub-pen, so I can produce a submarine and edge myself towards his coast so I know where to fire my rocket once it's finished. So again, he slips past my destroyer. Not a destroyer, it's a cruiser. And through negligence, I can't even say that word, but through that, whatever it's called, I allow him to come back to my base, and all I've done so far is spend a lot of precious energy. And I lost my troop ship, so poor playing on my part there. I should have escaped my troop ship a lot further, and I should have made sure that I had my cruiser to follow and engage. I build a depot because I need to start bunkering up on my energy. I can soon fire my rockets, so I need to have enough energy to actually launch them, and I need to have enough energy for my shipyards to protect themselves and anything that he's got coming at me there. I've got a cluster of units in east, so I don't really know his full presence there, but I think I'm in a decent shape there to control that island, and I've got a lot of reinforcement to ship over once I get another troop ship. Scout the south to make sure he's not snuck across there. So we don't show the fog of war unless you've got troops anymore, but you still can see if you control the territory. I'm not going to go straight into this northeast defense line there, so I do a move path and try to surround his units there in the forest. Quick look over in the east, not much to do there, but to allow that to happen. Still don't know if he's spotted my rocket. But I have to assume that I can't get him any closer now, so that's why I'm pushing towards that forest collection there that he's got, his little gathering. So he's built another barrack, and now he's starting to equal my number of producers there. So to take this a little bit more serious, he's also got reinforcements that he could ship over. My rocket is finished, but I don't have enough energy at first to send it, but now I just have enough. Oh yeah, I've got I think I'm just waiting for the submarine here. I need to know where to fire this rocket, because a rocket costs 200. It takes 3 minutes to produce. So I want to make sure I fire it at a valuable enough spot. So when you dig defense lines, those lines in black there, they'll entrench for 20 seconds. And once they finished entrenching, they actually gain a very strong defense bonus there. And there I connected the depot with my producer as well. It needs to be connected with a pipeline in order to be able to ship to transport the energy there from the refinery. So he's got 2 shipyards, he's got a barrack, he's got a cruiser. I decide to launch my missile so I can at least take out one of the shipyards, and I'll probably get that cruiser with me. That was the idea. So rockets away there. I've got another rocket being produced, which he doesn't know about, I'm fairly certain. I try to escape with my submarine to protect it. It takes less damage anyway. And that rocket actually revealed that he's got airport as well. It didn't take out the cruiser, unfortunately. It's badly damaged, but it didn't take it out. Maybe the submarine can finish it off. But that airport is scaring me now. I don't have any air defense. So conquering is going okay-ish, but he's eaten up the continent, so I have to ship more units over. Start to take that sea territory back that I should have done a long time ago. The submarine is taking care of that badly damaged cruiser. I'm just about holding off the north now, so his extra barrack there and presence is starting to become a real problem. And I hear a rocket launch, and I see it being launched from the little mountain right next to the airport there. And I have to say that that rocket was pretty clever. It took out my 3 most important barracks there, all 3 that I had. And he's got 4 barracks up north now. He's outnumbering me. Again, my rocket is exposed. So my plan is not really coming together the way I want. I have a couple of cruisers that I can send around up north there to start taking away those barracks. Hopefully he's not protecting them. So if I can get my cruisers up there, I'll be able to take out at least 3 of those that are in range from sea. I've also got enough troops to ship over so far to... I really need to control that east continent. So I lost my sub. His ships, he's produced destroyers now that he knows that I've got submarines. He's heard the torpedo hits. My energy is becoming a problem. I've only got 9 energy. So it's accumulating a little bit into my refinery, but I'm pretty much consuming more than I'm making at the moment. So I have to stop my ship transports and prioritize that my cruisers will make it around the tip there. So I've got another rocket ready to go, but I don't have the energy to send it, and I need to prioritize my cruisers to go up. And now he's launched his strikers there from that airport that I spotted. He doesn't know that I have my second rocket, but he knows where my old rocket was. And I'm gonna lose that one, so I cancel the build on that rocket to get my money back. So that's pretty much lost. I wouldn't have been able to defend that rocket site anymore anyway. Again, for the second time, he takes it out. So he's attacked me in the south as well. Totally unexpected, but very clever move. I should have... I've been there till... I've sort of sensed that it was going to happen at some point. And then finally it did, and it happened at the worst possible time, because I really, really need that energy. And he takes out my energy supply there. My depot is gone, and he's attacking my refinery, so I had to build 2 solar power here. Solar power is half as efficient as those energy wells that you put on the energy wells sites, or the refineries. Can't even speak. Too excited. So I have to panic build a couple of power plants there just to make sure that I can move. I don't have any energy income, so my ships are stuck at the moment, but at least one of the cruisers is reaching one of the barracks there. I have to start sending my troops back here and conquer this. So he's done a really good job of doing different things in different places, which is causing a lot of problems for me. I know he's got his air base there as well. I know he's got plenty of energy. Economy doesn't seem to be a problem for him. He's got a lot of troop ships there, a lot of stuff going on. And I can't really do anything yet with that expensive rocket that is just polished. It's ready to go, but I can't fire it anywhere. 0 energy. So not only do I need to wait for my power plants to build, I need them to produce enough energy, 20, which is going to take longer than I ever wanted, so I can fire it. And I know exactly where to fire it because I want to get rid of his airport and his rocket base that I know that he's got. So, hoping that I can mitigate the threats in the south there, since I've got close access with my barracks, I build a refinery there in the mountains as well. Not sure if he'll spot that, but I really need to prioritize my energy. I can begin to move. I'm gathering a little bit of energy from my power plants, and I'm managing to take back that part of my continent. He's flying further south now with his strikers. He's only spotted my shipyards. He doesn't know my rocket site there yet. I've got a couple of subs there that his cruisers are not spotting, I'm fairly certain, so they'll be able to eat off those cruisers. Submarines are still hidden, but he does spot my sub pen, which is a big problem. Strikers take out my only shipyard. My rocket is ready to fire. I'll be able to get rid of his rocket base, hopefully, and or the launch pad and his airport. I've got enough energy now to start shipping troops across to the East Island, and there's the rocket. I'm too busy to see what's going on, but judging by the chat, I can only imagine that his rocket was finished. So I blew up the airport, strikers are gone, and his rocket is gone. And I've got a couple of submarines left, but unfortunately I lost my sub pen, which is a big problem. Again, I've got 0 producers now at sea, and I've only got 1 rocket base, and I've got some serious problems. Unfortunately, he's taken the whole East Island over again. So that little gap in my ability to transport, and probably my lack of attention to try to mitigate that threat, I lost the entire East Island. So he's got both islands now. He's coming down from the north. He's attacking my rocket base again. So only 1 rocket I managed to fire from building 3 rocket bases. That's an absolute disaster. Or did I send 2 rockets? Maybe I did. It felt like I only sent 1. I did send 2 actually. The first one didn't do enough damage. So imagine if I would have fired that where he was building the airport. It was the most expensive scouting item I've ever sent. A scouting rocket. So can't hold that defense line. Had to ship my guys further down south. He's coming down from the north, eating up my territories. He took out my 3 most important barracks there with that rocket. I've only got 2 or 3 barracks there. So it's looking quite difficult. Grim is the word I'm looking for. I have a fair amount of economy, so panic building a few barracks in hope that I can spit out some troops and defend myself while I'm conquering the East Island again. He's got destroyers now instead of cruisers, so my submarines are no longer submerged and invisible, so time to resign. About half an hour is a lot of fun. Good, well played by SuperCrumpets. I'm super impressed that he managed to escape the main island, retreat to a less economic island, and actually build up and attack me and defend. Defend himself and attack me and take me out. So, well played. Make sure that you wishlist this game on Steam as well if you haven't already. You can go to linewar.com, that's probably the fastest route. Click on the link to Steam there, and you can wishlist this game if you want to play it. So, looking forward to putting some more matches up, and see you in the next video. Bye for now.